When asked, who are you? How do you answer? Is your answer a role you play in life, like mother, daughter, father, nurse, trainer? Who are you? How would you describe yourself? Most of us identify ourselves by what we do, the actions we take, the roles that we play. After all, society does look favorably on those who do, on those that make something of themselves. We make to-do lists. We measure our worth by what we accomplish in a day, in a week, in a lifetime. We can't afford to sit idle, you snooze, you lose. No wonder we feel overwhelmed, stressed, and burned out. But what if instead of focusing on doing, you focused on being? What if you started each day with this question? At the end of the day, how do I want to feel? It may seem like simplistic. It may seem pointless. After all, society values doing, rewards accomplishments, measures productivity. What's the point of being? What is being? What is a being? Being is what makes us who we are, what allows us to feel whole, what allows us to create a life with meaning. Being is a presence, and a being is the one that is present. A human being, without the quality of being, is unconscious. After all, we're not called human doings, we're human beings. When we become aware of our being, that is, when we become self-aware, we open ourselves up to the fullness of life and to enlightenment. And what do I mean by enlightenment? Enlightenment is perceiving reality with an open, detached mind, even in the most difficult of circumstances. Now, you may not feel enlightened on a regular basis, but you can experience this open, enlightened mind when you experience awe and wonder. Children do this. They go through life when they're first little. Everything is wonderful. Everything they look at is new and with awe. But as we grow up, we start getting cynical, skeptical, doubtful. We lose that sense of wonderment. We have it within us. Bring it back. Enlightenment is not about going someplace else or attaining something you don't have. Enlightenment is about uncovering our true nature, what is called our Buddha nature. In Milan Kundera's 1984 novel and subsequent movie, which you may have heard of, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, lightness is portrayed as the overall meaninglessness of life due to the fleeting nature of our experiences. In Kundera's world, meaning is heavy, it has weight. So we want to become light and we shed the burden of meaning, life would be unbearable. Hence the title, The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I like to think of it differently. I like to see life from a different point of view. I prefer to see life as the bearable and incredible lightness of being. That will become as light as being itself. Zen Buddhism teaches us not only to find lightness of being bearable, but to find joy and meaning in that lightness. To let go of the burdens we carry, and in doing so, alleviate our suffering. I want to share with you a Zen poem or Zen parable. Some of you may have heard this, but I think it's worth sharing right now. Two monks were traveling together along a muddy road. Coming around the bend, they came upon a river where they saw a young and beautiful woman attempting to cross. The young woman asked if they could help her cross to the other side as the current was strong. The two monks glanced at one another because they had taken vows never to touch a woman. Then, without a word, the older monk picked up the woman and carried her across the river and gently placed her down on the other side. And then he continued on his journey. The younger monk could not believe what just had happened. After rejoining his companion, he was speechless. An hour went by, 2 hours, 3 hours, and not a word passed between them. They finally reached their final destination. And the younger monk could no longer contain himself and blurted out, "As monks, we are not permitted to touch a woman. How could you carry her, that woman, on your shoulders?" The older monk looked at him and replied, "Brother, I set her down on the other side of the river. Why are you still carrying her? How long have you been carrying your burdens? When are you going to let them and set them down? Lay down your burdens. Don't let your burdens define you, whether that's an illness or a tragedy or anything that happens in your life that you feel is too great for you to bear. You don't have to bear your burdens. They don't have to decide who you are. When we let go of seeing life as a series of personal attacks, battles, or contests, we allow any given moment to feel spacious. We relax into the moment and experience opportunity it provides to find being. Our being informs our doing. Focus on being allows the doing to be free of fear, stress, and insignificance. I'm going to share with you 3 ways, 3 practices you can do to go from doing to being. The first practice is to practice mindfulness. Focus on each moment as it arises. In the words of John Kabat-Zinn, a world-renowned and leading practitioner of mindfulness, we quote, "Mindfulness is a way of being in relationship to everything," end quote. So mindfulness is being mindfully aware of your thoughts as they arise, falling awake in the moment by paying attention on purpose, non-judgmentally. Wake up. We often go through life through habits asleep. We're not paying attention to what is going on. Do you realize how you eat an orange? Or do you realize how you're walking, the sunshine around you, the air, the breeze, the people that you see, the animals? Pay attention, wake up, live in the moment. That's mindfulness. It teaches us a way of being rather than doing. It allows us to step back and see things more clearly. It frees us from the suffering brought on by our automatic thoughts and assumptions. We always have a voice in our head running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. If that voice is not our best friend, why are we carrying that around with us? Why don't we let go of all of these negativity and these automatic thoughts that just bring us down? Stay up, wake up, look around you. There's beauty everywhere. We can learn from the challenges of our lives. We can be open to compassion to ourselves and to others. One of my favorite quotes, and it's attributed to the Dalai Lama, is, and I use this a lot, "Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Remember the question I asked for you to ask at the beginning of each day? At the end of the day, how do I want to feel? After you ponder that question, ask yourself this next one. What will make me feel that way? Let your being guide your doing. Practice number 2. Practice gratitude. Now, it's been known that gratitude, the practice of gratitude for happiness, gives us well-being, gives us happiness. It's very effective. There's all kinds of studies showing the correlation between gratitude and health and a sense of well-being. Now, we know the benefits of gratitude, but it's not always easy to do that. Because as we've been trained and raised to see what is broken, to see what is lacking in our lives, we're very good at finding faults within ourselves, with society, and all around us. So for gratitude to really be effective in our lives, it has to be something more than just what you say during Thanksgiving. We always use, I'm grateful for this, but we do that just once a year. Why not do it every day? It needs to become something that we do on a regular basis. We need to learn how to look at things in a new way. When we practice giving thanks for what we have, instead of complaining about what we lack, we give ourselves a chance to see life as an opportunity and a gift. So let me be real clear though. Gratitude is not about being blindly optimistic. It's not about, hey, no bad things happen. Bad things happen. And I'm not asking you to ignore them. What I'm asking you is to look at what you focus on. Focus and give your attention to what you have. Pain and injustice exist in this world. We know that. We see that on a daily basis in our lives and in the world all around us. But when we start focusing on the gifts that we have, the gifts of life, we gain a sense of well-being. Gratitude balances us and gives us hope. Here are some ways you can practice gratitude. Intentionally call to mind the good that is happening in your life right now. Have the people you love stepped up to support you? Is the day outside especially beautiful? How did your creativity brighten another person's life? Find ways to make your surroundings lighter, more uplifting. Walk in bright sunshine. Breathe the fresh air. See the beauty in nature. Look at the rain and experience the wonderful drops of rain that nourish the earth. Just be there in the moment and be thankful that you're breathing and you're experiencing everything with your senses. Be light in how you relate to others. Third, practice a positive attitude. Your attitude is the paintbrush of the mind. It colors everything in your life. How you perceive the moment determines your attitude. The event is happening outside of you, but it's perceived through your own interpretation of that event. What happens to you is not experience. Experience is how you interpret what happens to you. The reality outside of you comes to life based on your interpretation of that reality. In other words, each of us creates our own personal reality. What reality are you creating for yourself right now? So why not keep the interpretation of your life, the interpretation of reality, light, positive, empowering, allowing each moment to be filled with grace compassion, and love. Opening up the space for the moment to be as it is, to let it be. Accept what is. Let go of burdens. Know that you're in pain, but do not choose suffering. Instead of a crisis, see an opportunity. Instead of a stumbling block, see a stepping stone. Instead of a burden, see a challenge. Instead of a mistake, see a lesson. Instead of darkness, see the hidden light. Practicing a positive attitude moves us from victim to survivor and from surviving to thriving. The life we live is ours to shape. Recognizing the being within us is to experience lightness, even in the midst of stressful situations. When our lives feel heavy, a burden to carry with no end in sight, we allow the heaviness to weigh us down. Let go of the burdens you carry. Let your being guide your doing. Make the choice to shed your burdens and experience the lightness of being. Thank you.